All right, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're looking at something absolutely fascinating: the concept of hidden mathematical patterns embedded deep inside ancient texts. You know, people spend their entire lives analyzing historical manuscripts, right? Looking for hidden codes, structures, alignments, all that kind of stuff. But today, we're going to focus on one very specific, highly discussed text and really look at the numbers behind it. We're examining a profound correlation found in the Holy Quran, one that brings together theology, history, and honestly, a surprising level of mathematical symmetry.
So what connects Jesus and Adam mathematically in the Quran? It's this incredibly cool micro-mystery that immediately grabs your attention. Because we aren't just talking about a thematic connection here, or some shared theological significance. We are talking about hard numbers. Like, how do these two monumental historical and religious figures actually align on a purely quantitative level? Well, let's unpack the data straight from the source material and see exactly what researchers have uncovered. Section 1. Numerical miracles, a famous example.
You see, when researchers analyze the text of the Quran, they often point to what they call numerical miracles. These are basically instances where the distribution, the frequency, and the placement of words seem to completely defy random chance. And the correlation between Jesus and Adam, that is widely considered one of the clearest, most famous examples of this whole phenomenon. But to understand the numbers, we've got to understand the text itself first. So here is the foundational quote from Surah Ali Imran, verse 59. Indeed, the example of Jesus to Allah is like that of Adam. He created him from dust. Then he said to him, "Be," and he was. Let that sink in for just a second. The text makes an explicit, direct comparison between these two figures. It establishes this deep theological and narrative parallel, literally linking Jesus and Adam directly together within the scripture.
Section 2. Mathematical harmony. Words to numbers.
Now, moving from words to numbers, the harmony here is precise, and honestly, it's just fascinating. We're looking at how the text translates into raw data to see if the structure actually supports the meaning. Okay, check this out. Across the entire Holy Quran, the name Adam is mentioned exactly 25 times. And the name Jesus is also mentioned exactly 25 times. They're perfectly equal. The explicit comparison made in that verse we just read, it's mirrored with absolute mathematical precision across the entirety of the book. 25 mentions for Adam, 25 mentions for Jesus.
And this brilliantly illustrates a core concept. The textual comparison perfectly matches the numerical distribution. The author of the text didn't just casually say they are alike. The structure of the text itself treats them absolutely identically in terms of frequency. It's this stunning piece of symmetry, really, where the quantitative data aligns flawlessly with the qualitative message.
Section 3. The context of revelation. Historical timeline.
Now, you might be thinking to yourself, okay, maybe an author just planned it out and counted the words as they wrote, right? Well, to really grasp the weight of this pattern, we have to look at the historical context of how this text actually came to be. 23. This is the absolutely crucial number for our historical timeline. The Holy Quran was not written in one sitting. It wasn't drafted on a desk over a long weekend by a single author with a ledger keeping track of everything. It was revealed gradually over a massive, incredibly turbulent span of 23 years. Just imagine trying to keep a perfect running tally of specific words in your head for more than 2 decades.
Let's detail what those 23 years actually looked like. This was a gradual revelation to Prophet Muhammad, occurring during entirely different situations. We're talking times of peace, times of fierce conflict, moments of intense personal tragedy, and huge community triumphs. The events and circumstances were constantly varying, but most importantly, it was not compiled into a single, bound book at the time of revelation. There was no master manuscript you could just flip through, no way to run a quick word count. Under these chaotic, real-world conditions, manually planning and executing such a precise calculation and distribution of words across decades, it would be functionally impossible.
Section 4. Divine wisdom. Tangible evidence.
So, what do we actually do with this data? How is it interpreted by those who study and revere this text? Well, for Muslims, this profound mathematical precision in the choice and distribution of words directly reflects the divine message itself. It isn't viewed as just some neat coincidence or a clever human trick. Because of that chaotic, 23-year, uncompiled historical context we just talked about, this symmetry is considered clear, tangible evidence of a higher power. It's seen as a revelation from an all-wise source, basically a signature of divine authorship embedded right into the very structure of the language.
And this belief is deeply anchored by verses within the text itself. The source material states, "Nor does he speak from his own inclination. It is not but a revelation revealed." For believers, the mathematical equality of Adam and Jesus, those 25 mentions each, serves to completely confirm this exact claim. The numbers basically provide structural proof of the theological assertion that the text originates from somewhere far beyond the human mind.
Which leaves us with one final super intriguing question to chew on. How does an ancient, uncompiled text achieve such exact mathematical precision? I mean, regardless of your personal beliefs, the data presents this completely fascinating historical and literary puzzle. We have a text delivered orally over 23 years in vastly changing circumstances that somehow manages to perfectly balance its quantitative vocabulary with its qualitative message. It is a remarkable feature of the source material for sure, and one that absolutely continues to intrigue scholars and readers today. Thanks so much for joining this explainer. Keep questioning, keep analyzing, and I'll catch you next time.